So, time for a little mock draft action. My top 10 NFL mock draft, freshly updated. Don't you worry, I will be doing a full-on mock draft very, very soon. But here is my top 10 just for a little fodder for you guys as you go through your Monday morning. So, number 1 overall, Sam Darnold, quarterback out of USC, going to the Cleveland Browns. Yes, he's a project. Yes, it's going to take some time. I'd expect Tyrod Taylor to be the starter in Week 1, 2018. Hugh Jackson has already said so. And by the way, I'm not really sure why he would do that because, like, off-season workouts just started. But I digress. Darnold, he's got that blue-collar, gritty mentality that I think will fit well in Cleveland. Ohio, the Rust Belt, gritty blue-collar fans out there. They love their Browns, the dog pound, if you will. And I think Darnold is the guy for Cleveland, and I think he can learn and grow underneath offensive coordinator Todd Haley. And there's no pressure for Sam Darnold to be the Week 1 starter because, like I said, Tyrod Taylor is there, and there's Drew Stanton as well if push comes to shove. And you look at the pieces around Darnold here, they're there. Landry, Carlos Hyde, Darren Fells. There are pieces here that can help Sam Darnold thrive when he does become the quarterback. Because it's only a matter of time once he gets drafted that he'll become the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. And oh, by the way, Josh Gordon is there too, officially. So Sam Darnold at number 1. Keep an eye out on him if he does get drafted. And kind of monitor him throughout OTAs and minicamp here for the Cleveland Browns because he could impress some people. All right, number 2. The New York Giants. What are they going to do with that 2nd overall pick? I've got Gettleman selecting that generational player, Saquon Barkley, out of Penn State. So what I'm hearing is, unless Darnold is there at 1, I think Gettleman gets Barkley or Chubb. I talked about it in my headlines here. For someone who lacks in leadership and is somewhat of an odd duck, according to many scouts out there, Josh Rosen, I don't think, is the guy for the Giants. And so, in that vein, why reach for a quarterback that you think is going to kind of be like a Jake Locker type of situation where it just doesn't work out? Go get that generational talent. Make one more run with Eli Manning. Get Saquon Barkley. Or get Bradley Chubb. Either one I would be happy with if I'm a Giants fan out there. Possibility that the Giants trade back, but just for full disclosure here, I am not projecting trades. So there you go. I got the Giants at number 2 getting Saquon Barkley. Let's go to number 3 on my board. We've got the New York Jets, thanks to the Indianapolis Colts and the trade that went down between those two teams. So there's Rosen. Rosen goes to the Jets here, and I'm thinking New York, the Jets that are, would be very happy with this selection. So Rosen, I think, has the touch, the accuracy that fits well in this Jets West Coast system headed by offensive coordinator Jeremy Bates, who once worked with Jay Cutler. And Cutler kind of has that similar mental makeup as Josh Rosen, both really intelligent, somewhat quiet, a little bit odd at the same time. So in summary, I'm thinking he is the fit here for the Jets, much better than, say, the Giants. So Mayfield makes sense as well. Josh Allen, I think, probably won't happen. I previously had Josh Allen to the Jets, and I really don't know what I was thinking there. So, yeah, I'm thinking Josh Rosen will be there at 3, and I'm thinking the Jets pull the trigger on him. Let's go to number 4. Back to the Cleveland Browns we go, thanks to the Houston Texans. So how about this? They get Darnold, and then there is the best defensive player in the draft available at number 4. Bradley Chubb, defensive end out of NC State. Great combination of athleticism and size. He is so ferocious in his pursuit of quarterbacks. And you've already got a great end there in Myles Garrett, who graded out as the 12th best defensive end according to Pro Football Focus a year ago. Now you are pairing him with Bradley Chubb. And you're playing in a division where pressure usually makes the opposing quarterbacks bad. Talking about Andy Dalton. When he faces pressure, he's bad. Ben Roethlisberger, believe it or not, when he faces pressure, he's bad. Joe Flacco, coming from a Ravens fan, needs the ultimate pocket in front of him to be successful. I will admit that, even though Joe Flacco is elite. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So yeah, The Browns get Darnold at 1. They get Chubb at 4. Thank you very much. This is John Dorsey right now. He's happy. All right, let's go to number 5 here. We got the Denver Broncos. Like I talked about, there's a possibility they trade back. I don't think that happens. They get Baker Mayfield, quarterback out of Oklahoma. I think he is the most polished quarterback in the draft. I have been thinking that for many, many months. He's not the project like Darnold. He's got the leadership unlike Rosen. And I also think that Allen here is a possibility, but you guys will soon find out. I don't have Allen in my top 10, so keep that in mind. John Elway does like Mayfield a lot. Now, he does not fill that prototypical Elway quarterback mold here. The big arm, the tall stature, i.e. Paxton Lynch and Brock Osweiler. But Elway, if you go back, look at the data, how did that work out for you? Osweiler, not very well, and Paxton Lynch, I think it's safe to say, he's not a starting caliber quarterback out there. So I think Mayfield would be a really intriguing story to keep an eye out for as we go throughout the offseason workouts, because I'm thinking he could beat out Case Keenum. Regression to the mean could happen with Case Keenum. So that's what I'm feeling there with Denver. Let's go to number 6 now on the board. You got the Indianapolis Colts selecting one of the great road graders in the draft, Quenton Nelson, guard out of Notre Dame. So the Colts miss out on Bradley Chubb. That's okay, because they get perhaps a potential Hall of Fame offensive lineman here. I have not heard such positive, PR about a guard in some time. And Quenton Nelson is getting a lot of that. Yes, they re-signed Jack Mewhort. That's important because he is a good player when he is healthy. Yes, Ryan Kelly is coming back at center. Yes, they have Matt Slauson, but his play has kind of dropped off a bit in recent years, dealt with some injuries last year. You insert Quenton Nelson week 1, 2018, you will see results. And he can do both zone and man blocking schemes. That is the beauty of him. He may be a little heavier than what a zone blocking scheme calls for, but he is so quick with his size. I really like Quenton Nelson a lot. And you look at the tape, you are hard-pressed to actually find a weakness in this kid. Really good player. So he goes to the Indianapolis Colts. Let's go to number 7 here. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Minkah Fitzpatrick, defensive back out of Alabama. So, Quenton Nelson has been mocked to the Bucs a little bit. So has Bradley Chubb. But both those guys are off the board according to my mock draft. So I think they addressed the secondary. Brent Grimes was just okay a year ago. 2016 was better. Rookie Ryan Smith was not very good. Meanwhile, at safety, TJ Ward had a bit of a drop-off season. Chris Conte, I don't think is worthy of a starting caliber position in the NFL anymore. Yes, there are needs at guard. J.R. Sweezy was awful, but like I said, Quenton Nelson is off the board. So Minkah Fitzpatrick is the ultimate modern-day NFL defensive back, because you can experiment with him and kind of utilize him as a Swiss Army knife of sorts, where maybe you try him out on the outside at corner, try him out at safety, try him out at nickel. He could be somewhat of that hybrid player that I think is really, really exciting to watch nowadays in the NFL. And quite frankly, a player that every NFL team should have in their back end. An ability to come up and play in the box, but also sit back in free range, maybe as a safety or as a corner. So Minkah Fitzpatrick there at number 7. Let's go to number 8. We've got the Chicago Bears selecting a linebacker, a young one at that, Tremaine Edmunds, linebacker out of Virginia Tech. So the Bears, I don't think, are really desperate for playmakers on the offensive side. You've got Taylor Gabriel, you got Trey Burton, you got Allen Robinson. They're all there. They did lose Cam Meredith, which may support the narrative that they will go wide receiver at number 8. That would be a mistake. Get this kid, Tremaine Edmunds. Absolute athletic freak. 6'5", 250. The Bears can play him inside. He was primarily an inside linebacker at Va Tech. But you can try him out at Leo. Try him out as an outside rusher. See what he can do there. And there is such a high ceiling for him because right now, he can't legally drink. He's 19 years old. He's going to be 20 once the regular season starts because he turns 20 a month from now. but you got to wait 6 years until this kid can actually rent a car. Like, there's so much promise ahead of him that I think the Bears would be really smart to grab him. They lost Pernell McPhee to the Washington Redskins, so there is a bit of a hole there in that front seven. And with Quentin Nelson gone, the argument there was like, okay, maybe they go Quentin at 8, but he's not there according to my board, so they could go secondary. I could see Denzel Ward, maybe a Josh Jackson, although it would be a reach in my eyes. But I got the Bears grabbing Tremaine Edmunds there at number 8. All right, I see Daniel Connor in the comments section, one of the loyal watchers of the Cam Rogers Show, also a 49ers fan. So let's get to those 49ers at number 9 overall. Linebacker it is, folks. Roquan Smith out of Georgia, perhaps the most intelligent football player in this entire class. I love his IQ. He is one of the premier sideline-to-sideline linebackers among all of the linebacker prospects. And the 49ers need insurance, guys, because we don't know what's going to happen with Reuben Foster. And this legal process could drag on. Now, again, I talked about it during my show. Reports suggest that the 49ers are not changing their draft strategy at all at number 9. They won't go linebacker. They're going to do linebacker in the later rounds. But what are you going to do here? Harold Landry, Davenport? Maybe. Secondary? No, that doesn't make sense. Quentin Nelson's off the board. So I got Roquan Smith there at number 9. Nice, safe, solid pick there for San Francisco. All right, let's get to my last pick for the Oakland Raiders. I've got Denzel Ward, a cornerback out of Ohio State. First of all, I will say in terms of the secondary, love the addition of Rashaan Melvin coming on over from Indianapolis. Really good corner. Played well last year. After that, though, there are question marks in that secondary. You got Shareece Wright. Yeah, he's not good. Sean Smith got cut. And I'm thinking Ward would be a nice experimental piece. They can try him out on the outside. If it doesn't work out, that's okay, because I think he has a really good future at slot corner, a la Patrick Robinson, a la Chris Harris Jr. So that's the kind of ceiling that I'm looking at with Denzel Ward. And you plug him in for the next 10 years at slot corner, and you're set if you're an Oakland Raiders fan. So I've got Denzel at number 10 to wrap up my top 10 NFL mock draft ahead of what should be a very, very fun 2018 NFL Draft here in Dallas, Texas. All right, by the way, you can get me on the go. The Cam Rogers podcast is a thing for all you iOS users. Head on to chatsports.com/CamShow. Download, subscribe, leave a 5-star review if you're feeling generous on this Monday.